feel very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It's the right height. It's the right height.
Very uncomfortable.
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
This will be the easiest podcast I ever
So,
did.
these mics can pick you guys up. So if
So don't talk shit in the back.
Just pass it around.
Just don't talk too much. But if you're gonna talk, I need you guys to hold the mic.
Well, that's exactly how we should do it. Yes.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah,
We're
let's
after dark.
Exactly, after dark.
It is after dark.
We
It
should
is
do
after
dark.
a
It is dark.
subject too, once we go live.
You're doing
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Tell
do something.
tell you when to go.
I hope
Just tell me
you're
when
recording
we'll
now
do
to get the bloopers for all these.
Alright, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
Hands ready.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, action.
All right, Guru Nation, we're live after dark at the first time live in person at SOS. We're usually doing this remotely. We've got a whole crew over here. Want to do salute first to everybody. Save our sites.
Save our
Cheers
sites.
to everybody.
Hey.
Who is the sponsor, Joe? Joe pulled it off.
It's interesting. So we can just talk about what we're drinking right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we're drinking.
It's a local Oklahoma whiskey that the owner happens to be here right now. And,
Oklahoma City.
I've never been to Oklahoma.
Me either. I don't think anyone here has ever. Okay, Edie's been here before.
So can you
First timers.
Can you tell us about your whiskey?
Salute.
Salute.
And the Omni Hotel loves our bourbon. So tonight what you're doing is getting to try a sample of our Heritage Series of bourbons. And all of our bourbons we make on site by
Yeah, I
hand.
have
So
one.
we're a handcrafted Oklahoma bourbon distillery. So if you ever get a chance to get to Oklahoma or even North Texas, look for our products and come see us in Ho Chi Town, Oklahoma. Thank y'all.
That's great. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Bourbon's great.
You're a bourbon guy, right?
Yeah.
And while we're doing the cheers,
Salute.
this is also a cheers to Dan on being a dad. So,
Oh,
Guru
that's
Nation,
good.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, Joe, start. We'll go around, pass the mic.
Oh wow.
Who you are, what you do.
We're at the first. This is my second SOS. This is the second SOS.
Yep.
So my name is Joe Dustin. I have 20 years in clinical research, and my mantra right now, whenever I go to events or people I want to, my name is Joe, and I want to help sites. And you and I met 2013 or so
Yeah,
when you were in Orange County. One of the first podcasters I ever met in this industry was you. There really wasn't anybody doing this, so I kudos to you, sir, for
Thank you.
starting, just talking the truth and kind of where things are. Sometimes not everybody agrees with what you say, but I think you're just pretty authentic, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I live in New Jersey. I work in clinical trials. I've been working in pharma and on the vendor side for a number of years, trying to speed the new drugs to market through technology for a long time. So you guys are at the front lines of what we do, so we appreciate you.
Thank you, and thank you for getting the sponsor for this episode. Robert and I, this is the easiest Guru After Dark we've ever done. Robert, this was your idea when we started in the midst of a recession. Just really quick for Robert, tell the story once and for all so it's documented.
Yeah, absolutely. So Guru Dark After Dark started when, I don't know, what do you think, 23 or 24 was it?
2023.
Yeah, something like
You
that.
called it
where-
early when the recession.
I mean, I started seeing this at the sponsor level, at the serial level, a lot of layoffs, a lot of reorganization. Sites weren't exactly feeling the pinch just yet. So
Still not. Kind
It's
of, a little
still
bit.
not,
A little
right? So
bit.
if a CRO is used to running 800 trials and their load goes down to 600 or 400, sites are not going to realize
We'll feel
that.
it later.
So I'm like, Dan, Chris, people are hurting. People need, some support, some encouragement. They're worried. They're up at night. They're looking at the, smashing the easy apply button 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. So I'm like, Dan, let's go live at night. And he's like, absolutely not. We're not going to get any views. We're not going to get any watch. Nothing's going to happen.
And that's where the Cold Summer song started.
That's where
Where's Darshan? I got to get a shirt here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a shirt in the
So
front.
I'll continue the
I
story
get a
real
shirt.
quickly while Dan grabs the
A shirt?
While he grabs the shirt.
Darshan's here.
There's the cold. Show the Cold Summer shirt. So
And show the back.
The back of the shirt is really, it comes from a song called Cold Summer, and at the end of the song, it's "Can you weather the storm until the sun shines again?" So we wanted to be really inspirational, help people, give them some sense of hope, and that's where Guru After Dark kind of came from. And I'm happy to say we helped several people get placed as a result
You
of them
in
watching.
particular.
That's true. Well, thank you, but I think it was a group effort, and so that's where Guru After Dark kind of came out. And it's a lighthearted, it's just a non-formal way of us getting together to talk shop, industry musings, in a very non-formal setting.
I very rarely have guests, and now we have a bunch of guests. Hopefully regular
I'm gonna
guests.
pass the mic to
Regular guests.
Darshan.
Darshan with
Okay, so we're answering who we are and then how Guru After Dark started. Is that where we are?
no, just who you
Just who
are.
we are,
Yeah,
okay.
you scare people. Everybody knows already.
So my name is Baba Yaga.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. My name is Darshan Kulkarni. I am an attorney. I'm a pharmacist, and as Dan Safari likes to say, this is not legal advice, and God forbid,
God
not medical
forbid.
advice.
Yeah.
But I'm an attorney. I help clinical trial sites, CROs, sponsors comply with the different rules from all the different agencies. And most people think about the FDA, but I'm thinking about everyone else as well. And I've been an investigator. I've been the only unblinded party in clinical trials because I'm usually the pharmacist as well when necessary. So I've been that. I've done those things. Plus, I have a podcast, just like
Several.
this one. Several. Some that are not
XXX, YYY.
XXX and YYY.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's who I am, and I'm excited to be here because usually when we do these are like three of us, and then Chris Solver.
Right. Where is Chris? I still don't
We
know.
have no idea where he is.
Nobody knows where Chris is.
Well, it's okay. He is the mystery guest who will show up, and that's what we don't know yet. Exactly.
But there's no
So-
Where's Waldo prize.
We're like really excited
Brad
to
was
have-
supposed to be Where's Waldo. Maybe tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, sure. My name's Krista. I'm here with Intelvade. I've been in the sales and tech space for about 20 years or so. I do business development for different sites, and I help you guys look good in front of the sponsors. So holler at me. By the way, this is my first podcast ever. Thank you, Dan.
Ah,
Great
thank you.
whiskey.
Thank you.
Let's have everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm up next.
Salute.
Hey, so it's my first time on Guru After Dark. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So glad to be here, and it's also my first Save Our Sites conference. I've been in the pharmaceutical industry forever and ever and ever, working at big pharma. My last company was 17 years. I took a huge risk and I went into healthcare. That didn't go so well. I was laid off about a year into it and moved on to a health tech. But I think the gift that I can give back in the spirit of, okay, I'm not going to say make clinical trials great again. No. Instead,
Make research sites great.
There's no again. There's no again.
right? Yeah.
It's
I think it's
selectively
just
missing.
let's make clinical research work better for everybody. And I think that's a mission we can all get behind, and that's what I want to do. So I'm excited to be here and learn from, sites. What is going to work for you? Not try to be behind the scenes in pharma, making assumptions about what's going to work for sites, but actually talking to them, learning from them, and making them actually part of the solutioning process. So great to be here, and thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Pages. I have a podcast too. We haven't really
very good
done
one.
many. We did 3, and me and my brother have not done any more. But Dan already motivated us to start again. It's called Off the Clock. I also have a site network called Clean Mastery. We own a couple sites, and I also have Clean social media management for clinical research. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And you had a great panel earlier. Thank you.
I was going to say, don't sell yourself short. There's so much more.
Off the clock is
Janelle, why don't you go first?
Edie Edens. Oh, this one.
So I'm Edie Edens. Many of you guys know me. This is my second SOS. Really love this crowd. I've had the unique opportunity to be friends and a part of some and all of the activities here for, 5 or 6 years. I feel like I was an early starter. I got my start when I walked out of law school in a health law program at a school that frankly had a giant medical school, and I had no job opportunities. So guess what? Research compliance, IRB consultant, here I come. Don't know what an IRB is? Great, I'm hired. Let's do this. And here's the thing, I loved it. I loved it so much. I stayed for 6 years, and then I moved to the site side in the oncology center that was part of that academic medical center, and I loved the sites even more than I loved the HRPP. And that was it. I was sold. After 10 years, I said I want to be a consultant. I want to work with sites like Dan's, like yours, like others. So many people at this amazing conference I've had the opportunity to work with, because this is where the magic's happening. And it doesn't mean the magic's not happening at the academic medical center and all these traditional routes. It just means now we have more options for our patients. Now we can do so much more. And if we actually come together and do that together, it's amazing. So today I have the benefit of being at the Kulkarni Law Firm with Darshan.
KLF.
I'm a senior attorney.
KLF.
I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I can't say enough about being here with this community and being able to be a part of this panel. Absolutely love it. Please, Janelle. Janelle is, by the way, Janelle's a friend and a client, so I just want you guys to know she's a baddie. Watch out.
Thank you for that. So my name's Janelle Gonzalez. I am the founder and CEO of Events and Research International, ARI. We focus on enabling physicians in lower socioeconomic areas, private practice. We enable them in starting research in their site. It's my first time at SOS. It's my first
Thank you.
meeting Dan
We do a
in
podcast
person.
tomorrow, a full podcast.
And it's so much more than that. I myself, growing up, I had issues having insurance. My mom's a single mother, so that's very near and dear to my heart. And so it feels great. And it is my first podcast also. And of course, right on brand, it will be Guru After Dark.
Thank you.
Cheers to that.
It's an honor.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And, thank you. And so, yeah, very passionate about it. And that's it.
Thank you. Can't believe the company that I keep these days. It's insane.
Come on, better be good.
So this is my first SOS, but this is not the first time that I've met Dan and a lot of this crew. My name's Andrew Mitchell. I'm the CEO and founder of Yaza AI. Yaza means medicine in Xhosa, and we're trying to bring the medicine and bring the patient safety back to pharmacovigilance. So all the adverse events that you guys get, that you know, and all the pain and compliance burden, well, we've brought AI agents that essentially can take oncology cases that would take 3 to 4 hours to do data entry, and we do them in 5 minutes, and we don't care if we've ever seen those formats of files before, or the type of data before, or if they're in French, or if they're handwritten, or if they're spread across multiple documents. AI is here. It's no longer about the promise. It's about the outcomes, and we're only just getting started. The premise of what it's going to do to help change our industry and help make it, we talk about the human in the loop with how we use the technology, but to me it's also about the human in the loop in terms of we're dealing with people that are taking these drugs in a hope. And this is about how we treat them as people and not just as numbers, and get the machines to do the numbers and to do so much of the routine stuff, and we get to understand what's behind them and what are the stories and how we can help and essentially help bring medicine to market, and many of the medicines that should have brought to market but didn't make it because something got lost along the way and we were buried in too much detail. And yeah, so excited to be here, excited to see the front lines of what's really happening, and even more so, like, sites need a voice. Like, sites really, really need a voice, and yeah, not just for sites, but just for all the patients that are out there waiting for the medication that is desperately needed. So
Thank you. Cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers. So we're looking forward to future After Dark to have all you as guests. What's the most taboo topics? Just like 1 or 2 words we go around that are not discussed, but you would like to hear more.
No.
In research.
In research, who can only be site owners?
Everybody.
Say that.
Easy. 1 second podcast.
I will talk about that later on.
Okay. All right.
No one else?
I think we all do it, but no one really shares it. And obviously, this may be the exception, but budgets, I think it's not taboo necessarily, right? But
it's secretive.
It's so secretive, and I think as sites, we should help each other and tell each other what we're all negotiating, so that something I often hear is, sorry, it's against the Sunshine Act, you're my highest budget.
So interesting about that. So I thought that topic was taboo when I first met you in 2013, because when I showed up at your site in Orange County, I was like, do you know that we have databases that are tracking all of the site's payments to you, and we can tell you what the benchmarks are for low, medium, and high? And you're like, no, what is that? And I was working on some at the time, and I don't think any site, I could be wrong, you tell me, I don't know if any sites knew that there were data products that were being created and aggregated over many years that were capturing actual negotiated costs for what the site contracts were becoming. And sponsors were using that not to lowball, they were using it just to speed up the contract negotiations.
And to build your protocol as well.
Wait, what?
And to build your protocol, because you needed to know how much money I needed up front.
So it was all done in good spirit, but like as a result of that, the benchmark of what we were being costed was sort of, well, we based it on a data tool, this is the cost, let's just sign and get going. And sites, not everyone agreed that was the right cost.
So first of all, just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it.
But the premise behind it, see, like when I first met you guys, I was coming from the sponsor side, and I was like trying to find the bridge between both. And I'm
you're talking a grand plan. You're talking all of those guys.
Yeah, they're all similar plans. Yeah. But like, so why, if payments and contracting are still the same problem, everybody, I mean, it's still the biggest problem for sites, then why, with all the tools that we've made and all the processes we've automated and all of the accuracy that why is it still a problem?
Because it's an antitrust concern. Because you have to worry about fair market value, and fair market value can still be too high if everyone does it. But fair market value is determined by, Edie and I argue. Yeah, we can argue about that later on.
Sorry, I should probably take a mic. Darshan and I like to argue.
So fair market.
That's a really healthy relationship to have with your boss.
So fair market value is often determined by a bunch of people saying this is what I would charge. And I had a situation where I had a friend of mine from the Department of Justice who did a presentation with me, and she walked the DIA floor with me. And one of the players in the market at that moment said, "I can tell you 25%, 50%, 75%. Can you tell me that that's fair market value because that's what everyone's paying?" And her response was, "How do I know all of you aren't paying too much money?" Because
you can.
Exactly, and that is the problem. How do you avoid a kickback issue in that scenario?
I mean, I guess you could. That's the idea of a benchmark, though. The benchmark exists.
But a benchmark saying what? That everyone's being overpaid?
These are topics we're not supposed to be discussing. How much of a problem are kickbacks?
How big are problem kickbacks? I mean, just $3 billion for GSK in 2013, but not just one.
Shout out to GSK.
We talked about this at lunch. You have to classify the risk. You have to classify
there are two types of risks.
There's two kinds of risks. And so it's really important that sites understand, frankly, are you in a high risk situation in the sense of this is something that's 100% going to get caught, like they're looking for this, they're working for it? Or is this a low risk in the sense of, hey, this isn't going to happen very often, the DOJ is not going to show up on your door very often. Having said that, when they do, they're going to wreck your life. So are you willing to take the chance you'll be one of the 1%, but also it will wreck your business, right? And that's the part I think that, like, Darshan and I always go back and forth because he's way more conservative about risk and I'm a little bit more
I worry about the 1%
about it.
that'll wreck your life.
Right, you worry about the 1% and I go, look, 99, I'm a side owner, 99, you got to focus on the 99. But that doesn't mean that 1% isn't something you need to know about and you need to understand and be swallowing whole.
And I tell my clients, I tell our clients that all
Your
the time.
clients, now they're mine.
Thank you, KLF, for sponsoring Guru After Dark. You're so generous. We love it.
Sorry.
Quick pivot. So, controversial topic as well. I had so many conversations with sites today that were like real talking in the hallways about the things that they do that I think if sponsors knew all the things they said, they'd be like, that's not allowed. And then the answer is like, how do you think I get 24-hour turnaround for your data entry? I have to do, you don't make it easy. And so I do these things, we don't talk about it, but there are reasons why I prefer paper over electronic in some cases. I never realized.
Paper versus electronic.
You made the case last
So
year.
I was like, hold on, there is no reason why you would ever use paper anywhere. And I said, this one guy was at a site, and he said, no, hold on. So we have a meeting every month, maybe more, and they said, we determine which studies are going to be paper and which studies will be on eSource. And every time we add eSource, it ticks up a license cost that we have to pay for. It adds a license cost. And then some of these studies are highly competitive, and we may never enroll a single patient. We may never, right. but we may never roll a single patient. So if we think we have patients in a database that could be there, but if we think there was a low probability that we will enroll a lot of patients, we're not going to go through the trouble of setting up all the eSource stuff and setting up all the things beyond study startup. We'll still do the study, but we're going to do it on paper because it's cheap and free. And I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would you do that? But everything he said was like, it's effort and it's cost, and in some studies, it's just not worth the effort and cost. And that was controversial to me.
We have a panel tomorrow
about why that's not just the default. And if you have eSource at a site, why do you not every single study you do by default doing that?
Well, guess what, Guru Nation? We have a panel tomorrow, 2 o'clock, Central Standard Time, SOS, featuring yours truly. Stay tuned.
Sorry, I got really passionate about that for a second.
And there's 3 site owners here. 1, 2, 3. So, what is a taboo topic you would like to hear? You said budgets, Jen.
I think it's really, and I've talked about this before, I think it's really important, like kind of bridging the gap of what the sponsor really wants and what the sites are doing. So when I was working at Icon, it was something that I was really passionate about because I was from a site and I'm there in Icon and they're expecting these things from the sites, and I was just like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you tell them to do that? Like, they don't have that time, like, you know? But then at the same time, you have sites that was like 4 months later, they still haven't entered data or things like that. So it's like, I saw both sides. So like, it's like, my thing is like having conversations where we're bridging that gap of like communication. The sponsors don't tell us. There's a lot of things that I found out when I worked at Icon that I had no idea when I was at the site. No idea. Now I do. Now I'm like, okay, hold on. I know exactly what you want. This is how you have to do it. And then the problem is, like on today's panel, there's still some sites that don't want to like hear, right? So like I'm trying to tell you, this is what a sponsor and a CRO wants. Like this is what they need. They also have regulations. They also have audits. They also can get in trouble, you know?
They're trying to get a drug approved.
Exactly. So we all just have to, we all have to work together as a team. We're not against each other. So it's like just opening up that conversation and saying like I said, you need SOPs. 6 SOPs is not good. It's not good. Actually, I'm not gonna say who, but I walked out and a sponsor came up to me and says, what was that site's name? Yes.
I'll give you one.
Because it was bad.
It was a bad kind.
Because it was bad. So I'm just saying.
That's excellent. Janelle, it's great because I think the other thing I was going to say that could be a taboo or something we should all share as site owners is like your CTA terms, right? Because most CTAs are executed with 5-day data entry or 3-day, and that's unrealistic, especially if you're high enrolling. And like I'm a SMO owner, right? So I'm gonna have the same trial 80% of the time across multiple sites. And it's just unrealistic.
There's a lot of that stuff tomorrow. So Guru Nation, thank you guys. Thank you all the guests. We're gonna have all you guys on one at a time. After dark, we gotta commit to that. At least one of you each time this year. And you gotta drink, you gotta have a drink, come on. Me, Darshan, Chris, Robert, wherever Chris is at, he'll be on.
No one knows.
No one knows. We still don't.
And by the way, like, thanks for building this community. I think it's a really, it's a really good thing.
Thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you for SOS.
Cheers.
Thank you for SOS.
Thank you.
Like, subscribe, comment.
Very quickly, I just want to say it is an honor to have met you in person. Like I said, I've followed you for many years.
Yes. Next year. We got.
Oh, you might do regionals.
SOS out.
These are the app. The post-credit scene. Post-credit scene.
We rest.
I want to do bloopers. I want to do bloopers.
Record, but you don't include it later. This is for later outtakes.
Bloopers include Darshan swing dancing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Thumbnail. So would you guys do something fun with a thumbnail? You guys can go crazy.
Okay, let's do a thumbnail.
Whatever it is that you want to do. I'm just gonna stay in the middle. Everybody else flank.
I got a lot of shit for the thumbnail, for the dancing.
Bro, we got the
You guys ready?
Aw, you just hit me. You're taller than Darshan.
Yeah!